welcome to Season 2, Episode 2 of the Missouri Traffic Experience. I, of course, am your host, Ezra Mendelson. Joining me are my lesser co-hosts, Cale Owens.
I'm gonna beat you up so bad. You just wait.
Jack Odell.
Buster.
Well, frankly, I feel a little bit backstabbed that you would say that about us, but...
Tommy Byrne.
That's me, hi.
Alright, that's all four of us. And so, I guess I've got nothing more to say, I don't think. So I'm just gonna jump right into it, as they say. And hand it right over to Cale, who's got something for us to discuss.
Well, something. First of all, I got some beef with you, Ezra. Lesser co-hosts. You heard my words. You heard
I thought
Jack,
I moved past
poor
that
Jack,
fast enough
stabbed in the
notice.
back. Tommy, he was at a loss for words. He didn't even have anything to say. He just said,
Well,
yeah, that's me, Tommy.
I thought it was assumed, since I was doing the intro, that I was better than you guys.
No.
You know,
No?
That's,
okay, fine.
That hurts both me and mental, physical, and spiritual self.
And economic.
And I think I'm going to have to do a candle and incense circle to rid my body of the evil spirits that you have put into it.
Can I join?
Yes, you can.
What time?
Right now. And that's why we are going to Thailand, to the Thailand Tiger Temple, where
What a segue.
it was, okay, so I'm about to lay on some rad facts to you. This happened, okay? And let me tell you how I came onto this information. I became the bearer of this weightful load of knowledge and lore. It's Saturday night. You know, out on the town.
I can already picture
Umsul.
myself in this moment.
Two Hill. It's their music hall. Like we have ours, big stage in front and everything. It's that. And they have a speaker. Right? His name is it's a person. It's a person. He is
Someone who's
speaking.
talking.
He's speaking.
They have both.
They do have both. They have
Is he speaking into a speaker?
He is with a little microphone.
Dude.
So we're going to see this guy's name, Steve Winters, yeah? And he has been a photographer for National Geographic for a very, very long time, a number of decades, yeah. And he was famous for photographing big cats. Like, he got a picture of I think it was like a puma or something in front of the Hollywood sign, because they have a big park right in the middle of the city there. All sorts of crazy stuff.
So you met this person?
I saw him. I mean, I would have had the
You
opportunity.
knew it was
to meet him,
them?
but I knew who I was going to see speak.
Oh, it was... Okay.
It was a speaker presentation.
I thought it was the other type of speaker, because I got
No,
confused.
it was not.
about it. Okay.
And he's going on. He talks about photographing pumas, snow leopards. He touches on jaguars, but his main real big part of the show is dedicated to tigers. And a lot of it was about deforestation and how a lot of them are going extinct because of the alternative medicine. They think ingesting part of the tiger gives you the strength of a tiger, which is kind of saying
I want to eat out tiger's heart.
if you ingest part of the cow through beef, you get the strength of a cow.
Do you want the strength?
Don't you want the strength of a cow?
That's why no one's noticed is 'cause
My
cows don't have
God,
strength.
have you ever seen a cow? It's got black and white stripes up and down its side.
No stripes.
Think about the milk that you could produce.
I think that's
You
a
could
zebra.
feed families, cities, towns. I
People
want the
already
strength.
produce milk.
Yeah, but I don't need to go into that, man. The point is, the benefits of a cow are extreme. Except whenever I eat beef, I don't get the strength and benefits of a cow. Which is why this alternative medicine is, as they say, bogus. So he's talking, and his wife is actually a writer for National Geographic. He's a photographer, she's a writer. And they team up on this crusade against this super sketchy tourist attraction called the Thailand Tiger Temple.
Which crusade was it?
This is the 8th. This is the 8th. The
Not
only
the last one?
Not the last one. No,
There
didn't.
were 8 crusades?
Yeah, there were. There were 7, 8.
So far.
So
The
far.
last
I think
one's
there
when
were.
they got the Holy Grail, so
That's
all I
true.
know.
That's true.
Oh, that's true.
There was a lot of you ought to look up.
I
some
know
of
there
the
was at
stuff
least
surrounding the
one.
Holy Grail. There was at least one.
There was a first, and I know there was the last.
The
Okay,
point is,
yeah,
none of
that's
them,
two.
none of them went too well.
No.
This is the first one to really pop off, get a bang to it, and it all starts out whenever he hears this rumor about this Thailand Tiger Temple, tourist attraction, right, in Thailand. You walk in there, big tiger mouth entryway. You walk in, and the only people there.
Sorry to interrupt. The tiger mouth entryway is it's facing out, or is it implying that you're coming in through the bowels of the
No.
tiger?
It's like facing out, so you're entering the bowels of the tiger.
Okay.
That's much better.
Yeah.
So
You know,
there,
I've always dreamed of getting eaten by a tiger. So.
it's kind of one of my I mean, haven't we all? I mean, boys will be boys. They're gonna dream of tiger eating. I mean, come on. The only people manning this place, right, is they got some staff, of course, in the back, but they're like the people outside. This whole thing is supposed to be an actual temple. So there's these monks with awful orange robes and everything, sandals.
So they're
And
praying
they-
to tigers?
No. Well, kind of, I guess. I mean, it's. I'm not so certain on the religion and all that cultural stuff in Thailand, but yeah, it's represented as a pseudo holy figure to an extent.
Like the tiger is? Okay.
Yeah,
so
yeah. So it's in a lot of that part of the world, tigers are semi-religious.
Yeah, that makes sense.
They have religious connotations to them.
Of course.
Anyway, so this guy hears this rumor. This guy, Steve Winters. He hears this rumor that they have 150 tigers at all times. And he thought that was rather suspicious because, people would go in there and they'd see little baby cubs. And then they'd come in the next day and ask about them. They're like, no baby cubs, none here. So he was like, a little chin scratcher there. This is the kind of place where you'd walk in, and you could take selfies with the tigers and pet them. Really bizarre. You'd think they'd have at least a few incidents a year where,
Did they
someone
move?
gets-
Or
Yeah, they're
the visitors knew they were tigers?
yeah. So you know how some people chain their dog to a post or a tree in their front yard.
Oh, yeah.
Looks a little bit Hoosier, but
So-
it gets the job done. It's kind of like that, except they're tigers with 4-inch fangs.
They still have their
Can
fangs.
rip into flesh and claws. They're like razors.
And ruin the photo.
Yeah.
And ruin the photo. You have no idea.
That would be a bad photo.
Many a selfie went wrong.
Is it like at the Louvre where you have to stay behind a rope?
No, you literally get up there, you can hug them, pet them. These tigers are
And they're not guaranteed to not kill you.
I don't think that
Is there any waiver
laws
involved?
in Thailand are
There's-
quite as strict on that sort of thing.
So you can just
Oh, yeah.
kill someone in
Forgot this
Thailand
was in
and
Thailand.
no one will care.
Not quite like that, but they got some problems, you know what I mean?
Okay.
Not saying that we don't, but theirs are a little bit more
Pressing,
Public danger.
public danger,
tiger-esque.
not having the best,
Safety.
public safety policies. It's Thailand. We love Thailand. Great culture, great everything.
Everyone loves
But
Thailand.
there's some countries that their whole economic political thing hasn't quite really gotten together. Back to this story. So this guy, Steve Winters, fantastic speaker if you ever go to see him. Fantastic photographer too. Look up some of his stuff. It's great. Especially I'm going to be laying down some hard facts with some of these pictures that I'm going to bring up. Hard evidence. This guy, he goes in and he starts to do a little bit of research, yeah? And he's able to pick up enough dirt and his wife is able to write enough papers. She sets out 4 paragraphs, papers, whatever, entries into National Geographic, enough so that it picks up traction. Puts it out there, put it out online,
What did Steve do with the dirt once he had it in his hands?
Well, he gave it to his wife, who reported on it, and then he gave the dirt directly to his wife. Hand in hand, they shoveled the muck. They raked the muck.
Muckrakers.
The muckrakers.
KTBT.
Yeah, don't forget that one. Muckrakers, okay? Prime example here.
All right.
They are able to pick up enough traction with their story because, they're thinking that they're probably involved in some, illegal animal trade. They get bang, feds, bang, cops, bang, politicians. All 3 of those government bodies to storm the place. And how it played out in my mind whenever he was speaking about this, I just imagine like a big pair of double doors, like right underneath the tiger mouth, like the tiger entryway. And it's like, yeah, the cop on one side, the politician on the other, and then like the military, like this Thailand military guy. And they all three kick down these double doors at once. And they got like M14s and stuff, and they got like sunglasses on. It's probably not how it went down. It's like all the monks are saying, they're like, anyway. He gets in there, you know, and they basically take the place over. They move these monks out. And these monks turn out to be nothing but a bunch of phony monks. Standard story.
Standard
you know,
people.
Photographer gets suspicious. Suspicion turns to anger. Anger leads to hate. And hate leads to Taiwanese fake monks. I can't stand fake monks.
What's the difference between a fake monk and a real monk?
Well, one monk is real and the other one is fake. He's made out of plaster and styrofoam.
Okay, so they weren't even people.
Facts.
Did they like open up the tigers?
They
and it was
open
like...
up. They go into the back. First thing they find, they open up the big meat fridge. Bang! 40 tigers on meat hooks, just in the back, like Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Thoroughly dead. Just up there on meat hooks. 40 tigers, big ones, big tigers, not the small type, the big ones. What did they do with the small type? Check it. Next room over, in their secret laboratory, 20 tiger cubs. In jars. Straight up in not jars. Alive. Not alive. Like pickled tiger cubs.
Dude, I would so eat
He slaps that picture up at the screen at UMSL, and everyone's like, because they got tigers in jars. I'm serious. Okay, listeners, right now, look this up. Tiger cubs in jars. Look up those words and you will find the pictures that I'm talking about. This stuff is messed up. They got tiger cubs. They look like little stuffed animals. Bang! In jars. Pickled.
How big were the jars? Were they like
mason They were like jars? They were a little bit bigger than mason jars.
They were like about the size of like a tiger.
Well, like a tiger cub.
Small tiger. They're about the size of those.
So tiger cubs, they're a little bit bigger. Like think I don't want to say like kittens because they weren't quite kittens. They had like their fur and stuff on them. But, like, it was probably, I don't know how tigers age, but you know where you got that cat and it's kind of like in the middle of being big and not being big? I'd say it was a medium size.
There's a word for that.
A small full-grown cat or a medium normal-sized cat. You know, a medium normal kitten. Like a normal kitten, if a kitten came out, but it was just really big and had like big muscles.
I think you're describing a cat.
Yeah, so kind of like a cat, but it's a little bit smaller than a cat, and it's in a jar, and it's like pickled. I actually don't know if it was pickled. I'm thinking that was salt and vinegar, and they just slapped that puppy in there.
Could you do that like to your house cats?
I would say you could. I wouldn't suggest it. You need Snots, yeah, Mr. Snuffles. Stick him in the jar. You know, give it a little,
I'll have to try this.
Yeah, he's really picking up the flavors really well. I'll have to snack on this one.
Yeah.
So, long short of the story is, this place gets shut down. Fake monks, fake out of here, and they're busted. They're going out, and this place, it is wacky. I'm just trying to think. So they would take these things, they would kill them, they'd sell them off. You know, like big fur rugs, you know, the type that you see in like fancy people with like Louis Vuitton and stuff, and then they got their tiger rugs.
Oh yeah.
Well, I bet you didn't know that they got it from fake monks in fake Thailand tiger temple.
You know, I don't think the people who bought those would care if the monks were fake. I think they would like it better.
I think there would be some like kind of like religious stigma if they were real monks.
The more disingenuous, the better.
Yeah.
So that
if you're buying an animal pelts anything,
you don't want it to come from a good source. Because if it's coming from a good source, then you're kind of like, ugh, there are good people that actually do this. That's gross.
Just don't. Okay.
Moral of the story is.
Moral of the story.
It was a front. It was a front for breeding tigers, and it's like cutting off the top, selling the excess, and then they also got all that sweet tourism money. Because some people want to buy baby tigers. It's like that alternative medicine. You ever heard that like Chinese alternative medicine, that really weird stuff? Like he had this other thing where they killed an endangered bear species and cut off its paws. So they had 4 of these paws, and where they came across them, you know, they don't want to like do anything to agitate them because they got big guns and have scary gun faces that say...
The bears?
No, the bears have scary faces. They don't have scary guns.
faces.
The poachers.
Oh,
They found
okay.
poachers. Should have clarified there. But they poached these 4 bear paws from this one bear, because, one bear equals 4 paws. So they nab up all these paws, have them on, like, keychains, and they're like,
Yeah.
look at this. And so Steve asks them, so how much are you planning to get for these 4 paws? And they were like, $4. So it was nationalized as the $4 bear. And that just goes to show, poachers are kind of scummy. Like, they got all those bad vibes, and now whenever they release rhinos back into the wild, they gotta shave down those horns, because those poachers will come and poach them. They'll poach them right up. National parks, doesn't matter. They'll poach them. They'll poach you. They'll poach anything. They'll poach your squirrels. They'll poach your cat. They'll poach your dogs, rabbits, fish, whatever they can get their hands on, they'll poach. And they'll poach it for you and from you.
They'll sell it back to you.
They'll sell it back to you. Make a profit.
Like what? Like $4?
Like
Capitalism.
$4.
$4.
Unless you got a bear, they're probably gonna make like 35 cents.
Could you do the same thing with like human hands?
Human hands? I mean, that probably.
That would be amazing to have like a necklace with 2 human
With 2
hands.
hands. What if they worked though? You could kind of like.
What do you?
Like,
Like,
if you were
they were still
kind of.
attached.
If you were kind of sick or had a headache or anything, you don't really want to reach your arm up. You're kind of feeling sluggish. Just bend your neck down, like shovel the soup into your mouth with your 2 neck hands.
I'm not sure that's any better.
I don't think it is either. I wonder if you could still feel like the heat. Because if you couldn't, then that would be fine. But then it would be harder to take care of those hands. You have to like oil them, like coconut oil and stuff. Trim the nails. Well, I guess the nails wouldn't grow. Make sure the nails stay polished.
Oh
and such.
God.
Well, you gotta think about it. I'm curious. I am very curious. Like, pickled tigers. This is the second podcast episode I've been a part of. The last one involved pickled humans
true.
from Balakis, the infamous Austro-Hungarian serial killer.
Shout out that episode, season 1, episode 2.
Episode 2.
Go back
episode
and watch
2.
it.
I
It's
say a lot
classic.
of ums. There's a lot of fishiness in there, but it's a classic. Absolute classic. Industry standard. Steely Dan, St. Valentine's Day Massacre, all sorts of stuff.
Definitely one of the 5 best.
One of the
Missouri
5.
Traffic
Oh.
Experience
Out of
podcast.
5, it is definitely one of the best.
Definitely one of the 5.
One of the top 5.
It is definitely an episode we've recorded.
Now, given my seemingly random obsession with pickled things, it does beg the question: what does a pickled tiger cub taste like? Because I think you'd have to take it out and you'd have to like get the fur off it, because you don't want that hair anymore. That's kind of gross.
Yeah, I mean, that's
You ever get like a
the
piece of
worst
hair
part
stuck in your house, and you gotta spit it out, like reach your hand all the way back in your mouth because it gets stuck all the way in the back, so you gotta, and you accidentally like hit your gag reflex, and you gotta like pull his hair out. Yeah, you gotta do everything. You gotta do laser surgery, the whole thing. Imagine that, but you're actually supposed to eat it. It just don't make sense. It's like those. Ever heard of a kumquat? It's like a small orange, really sour.
Yeah, I've heard.
But you eat the
kumquat.
peel. It's like, I like it.
You eat the peel?
You eat the peel.
Why?
You do not peel kumquats. You are not supposed to.
Well, peels. Why would anyone eat the peel?
I
off
know.
of
It's
anything?
so. Bleh.
Yeah.
It sends
peels,
chills. They
Well,
do.
My 4th grade teacher ate the orange peels of everybody's oranges when they brought them in, so she would just eat like multiple orange peels a day. It was weird.
And did she not
That-
bring a lunch?
No,
she
you
just
were
like.
you were in my
You
4th
were the
grade class.
lunch.
Oh, Mrs. Lauber?
Yeah, remember?
Oh, I do not remember her doing that.
Just
Yeah.
shout
But
out.
I know it's a thing people do.
Shout out to Miss Lawberth. Thank you very much for cleaning up the waste of your orange peel hating students.
Being a human landfill.
It's like, you should see how much
Don't take that.
trash.
too
Yeah, that sounds bad. Yeah,
Or you can like get a plaque with it. Mrs. Lauber, human landfill.
that sounds mean though, doesn't it?
terrible.
Like on your
Actually,
office door.
I love landfill just because if you ever work at like a restaurant or anything, you see how much waste goes. Compost saves so much crap from going to the other crap. It's like so much good crap that you can use to make more food that you can eat and then compost again. It's like recycling but more organic and less plasticky. And you don't want to eat plastic.
You don't.
I mean, I would think
can.
you could.
But you don't want to eat pickled tiger cubs either,
No.
but look at what we got going.
Maybe I do. I've never had one.
How about the nose? The nose would be so chewy and gross,
have
and
to
it's still
eat
got
the
the
whole
teeth in. You have to
thing.
pluck out the teeth. What, you chop off the head? Like, shrunken tiger cub heads? You could put it on like a big
head
stick,
looking Harry Potter.
yeah, like, or just like where do they do that?
Like
Where
a
do they do
totem?
that? Where was that? The
Someplace
Caribbean?
in Asia, probably.
I think
That's true. There is a strange trend with like Southeastern Asia.
it's
kinda
like somewhere in the.
I guess it's strange to
Pacific, right?
us, but man, I mean, it's like
The South.
it seemed like a
South
very
Pacific.
islander type thing. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like
Probably
maybe
just-
like off the coast of Australia.
I
somewhere.
do. I think Shrunken Heads are Jamaican.
Are they really?
I
think
had no
they-
idea.
Well, anyway, now
they
they
are.
can be part of
They
your
probably are.
Thailand
Okay.
experience.
They can
If
be-
you want to check out the Thailand Tiger Temple and get your own shrunken tiger cub head.
Do they sell them there?
No, they're closed down, but I'm sure there's some
There's
like
probably another
rickety old cart that this old guy comes out and he's got like a big hat and he's like, "Hey, tiger heads for sale. Looking for the Tiger Temple? Right here."
And then you come down and it's like, no one's lived there in 30 years.
30 years. It's like the old man that says, "You kids, I'd warn you against going there. Last time I came out, I hardly made it out with my life.
Too many tigers.
Too many tigers left.
It was sort of in the name. I don't know why I went.
I went there to play, but the tigers didn't want none.
The tigers
No.
played me.
They played me. Play ball. I wanted to play some cricket over there, but the tigers didn't want to play cricket. They didn't have opposable thumbs, so they found it offensive and they ate me. They tried to eat me. That's why I don't have my left eye."
What accent does this old man
I
have?
don't know.
can't be a
It's
Thai
Thailand, man.
accent.
It's Thailand. That's how the monks sound. They were so fake that they didn't even know where they were from.
They were Scottish.
They were Scottish. Hey, I've been working the Tiger Temple all my life, and I don't see a damn thing wrong with it. It's just an experience. It's just an experience.
A traffic experience?
A traffic,
Missouri
Missouri
traffic
traffic
experience.
experience. That's right. Thailand Tiger Temple. If you guys ever want to reach out to us, we do traffic illegal tigers.
Oh, that's what traffic stands for.
That is. It's traffic.
Trafficking.
We'll traffic all sorts of stuff. Nothing strictly illegal, but tigers, we make a little bit of an exception, just because like they're cool. They're tigers.
cute,
They got
yeah.
big stripes. Tiger stripes are actually like human fingerprints.
Oh.
Each one is unique.
Did you know that if you like remove the innards from a tiger and soak it in fluid, it becomes like a sponge, and you can like wipe your dishes with it?
Kind of like pickling a tiger.
Yeah, sort of like. But if it soaks up enough fluid, you can wring it out.
Ooh, that means that like if you were to eat that pickled tiger cub, it would be like little spongy bits in the middle with the chewy like nose and the crunchy teeth and the hairy hair.
We're assuming the head comes off, right?
Okay, we'll take the head off.
No one wants to eat a tiger head. No
Not
one
the
wants
tail.
to
How
eat
about
any
the
head.
tail? Take the paws off. Sell them for 10 cents to some.
No, the tail would be like a fruit by the foot. You would just
Oh, that's not bad.
or
That's not
beef
bad.
jerky.
Ooh.
That'd be really good.
And then it would be kind of like that kind of dill flavor. You should put some dill in there. Some dill weed. Just pop it in with the jar, and it'll be like dill pickle. Dill tiger.
Yeah,
cubs.
like a dill pickle, but dill
tiger.
tickle. Dill tickle.
Dill tickle. Because T stands for tiger.
Yeah. T, as everyone
T
knows, any
stands for
T,
Thailand Tiger Temple.
Triple T.
Triple
so,
T.
Dill tickle, but it's 3 T's.
Yeah, man, that's a okay, Thailand.
All right.
You know your guys. You know who to call.
Taiwanese
Ghostbusters.
Tiger
Go-
Temple, the
Ghostbusters.
official sponsor of the Missouri Traffic Experience.
Yeah.
Amen.
All right. Does that? I think that finishes our discussion over the
The Tiger Temple.
Thailand Tiger Temple. I would agree.
Is it really ever finished though?
That's true. I mean, the discussion lasts from the beginning of our life to the end.
For instance, I have but one more observation. 150 live tigers, along with what we got in the back. 150 live. But these things, you gotta think people would come up to them, take selfies and stuff. They were domesticated to the max.
Yeah.
Like domesticated fully.
Well, they would.
Well, not fully. They still
Okay,
have their
so
tiger
that's
bits in them.
how
That's
how they were able to be.
What?
pets.
Yeah. Well, they were domesticated, but as domesticated as a tiger.
Well, they
could
were
be.
probably imprinted to believe they were humans, which is something you can do with birds. Actually, is if they grow up around humans exclusively, they'll think they are a human.
If you replace all the blood in a tiger with human blood, they believe that they are human.
They stand up on two.
They
legs.
stand up on two legs.
And like.
That's
grow
why
opposable thumbs.
they got so angry when the Scottish man wanted to go in and play cricket. Because they came face to face with the harsh reality of not having thumbs and therefore not being human, and their tiger brains couldn't handle it.
Yeah, they were like, "Give me your thumbs.
Just give me them.
Give me your blood.
Give me your blood. Give me your thumbs.
Vampire tigers.
Vampire tigers. tigers.
Oh my god.
They do have the fangs.
I mean, that's mainly just saber-toothed tigers.
Vampire deer, musk deer.
Okay.
Musk deer. Are you familiar with the musk deer?
Oh my god.
Anyone not familiar with the musk deer? Look that up. It's native to Siberia. It's a deer. Doesn't have any antlers or anything, so you might be like, ooh, normal, boring deer.
It's a deer. I get
And it's
it.
even like a tiny deer. It's not a big thing, and you must be like, oh, good lord, what next? I'll tell you what's next. Fangs. 6-inch fangs that come down like a vampire. And it's a deer. Could you imagine seeing that? Could you imagine one of these things coming at you with fangs? Pierce you. That'd be crazy. And they give off this musk, hence the name.
That makes sense.
Musk deer. But it's got fangs and it goes in and it's got fangs and it does the fang stuff. Anyway, they got 150 tigers. What do they do with them? Domesticated-ish tigers. What do they do with them now? Because can they release them back into the wild where they pick up their animalistic senses again? Or how does that work?
I think they probably go to sanctuaries, like tiger sanctuaries.
Go to treatment.
But also I wonder, like, if you went there and were like, hey, do you have any, like, tiger meat in the back? And they were like, what's the password? And you were like, tiger. All right, come this way.
How'd you?
Man,
I guess you must know. No one could have.
No one could have guessed that one. It's so obvious that you just would never expect it.
Yeah.
You just wouldn't expect it.
It's right up there with password.
Password.
But
man, it's a story. I'll tell you that. It's a story. Remember, look that up. Pickled tiger cubs. Steve Winter is the photographer.
And musk deer.
Musk deer as well.
Because they have killer walrus fangs.
It is insane. It is insane.
It's not really like vampire because it's only on the top, right?
No, well, it is on the top.
Have,
Vampires do have the double teeth, bottom and top. But like,
mean,
it's more like a viper. More like what if they had the neck of a viper too? Like a cobra, and it had like the big flaps that came out like over its ears, and it would like that dinosaur,
cobra?
Dinosaur that like has the big fan that comes up and like
Velociraptors?
No. It's got. It's in think about Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
You know the scene in the original Jurassic Park, and it's the guy. What is his name? Like Dennis. Dennis, you guys remember Dennis?
The larger.
The larger individual, and he's stealing the DNA.
Newman?
What's that?
Newman?
Yeah, is that Paul Newman?
Sorry.
I think that's Paul Newman.
Apologies.
And he goes and he's stealing the dino DNA. Yeah. And he's in a car, and he's trying to use a winch to get his car unstuck. Anyway, he comes into contact with this crazy-looking dinosaur that spits like muck at him, like tar, like
What's
this black
the name of that
muck.
dinosaur?
Is it Dilophosaurus?
It is a
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Dilophosaurus. It's got this big fan that comes up. It's like yeah, except it's like in the neck and it like springs out like kind of like how an umbrella springs out, where like and then it like shakes and then it like spits out. Anyway, what if it was like that? Except it was a deer that had the head of a snake, so it could like.
And instead of venom, it fired.
It had big fangs.
Tiny pickled tiger cubs.
Pickled tiger cubs. It just throws. It has opposable thumbs.
Oh,
and
man.
it just throws them. It's got
Cricket
their
bat in one hand,
and tiger cub in the other. Unscrew that jar. Take that puppy out. Still meowing.
Hit it with your cricket bat.
Man. Yeah, they're actually the Australian team is actually trying to get some of those to sign up. The only thing is that they don't really have the best throwing arm.
Well,
they can hit just fine, but like as far as throwing goes, they just can't throw very hard. No. Just because they're used to throwing it up and hitting it like that, so they're not really used to the forward momentum type bit.
Yeah.
But and then also it's the PR. You know, it's like Australia's already like, wow, you guys are kind of live life on the edge with all the things that can kill you in 10,000 different ways. It is on brand, so maybe it would be even better. But just adding another thing that could kill you, like a Dilopha musk deer, Vampasaurus.
Yeah. Do you think that like
tiger cubs included?
Yeah.
That just might be overstepping that boundary. That must be like taking that wall and just stepping over it.
Is there anything in the rules that says tiger Dilophosaurus can't play cricket, or are we gonna have an Airbud situation where what would be an Airbud for this? It would be a ground fellow.
Ground fellow? Is that just a man who
ground dude?
Ground dude. Oh, okay. You were talking about ground dude. Yeah,
Geodude. Hey.
Man, I mean, as long as there's no rule against it, I mean, I feel like it's okay, you know, because the rule. Have you ever seen like proper sports rules indexes?
Yeah, I have.
Because they kind of get a little bit crazy.
Yeah.
It's kind of like laws. You hear those laws where it's like you cannot be driving with a bear in your passenger seat, where you're like, why is this law a thing, and who enacted
why is this law, why does it need to be stated?
It's like, I'm
sure it was just resolved in the lawsuit or something.
it's kind of like that.
Someone had a bear in their passenger seat?
Was he just chilling?
How else is this supposed to
You
get
think
the
he was
paws
being
off?
violent?
You gotta
or...
get it to the
yeah,
factory
you gotta
to
get
take
it to
the
the
paws
factory
off.
first.
Yeah.
What, you gonna do it with your bare hands? What do you think we are, animals? We live in
Yeah.
2020.
Is it illegal to have a bear drive your car? And you be in the passenger seat?
Ooh, okay. I'm picking up
Bear
what you're putting
Uber.
down.
Chilling with your bear friend?
It's gotta still have its paws though. You can't. It has to drive you. Then you can take off its paws. Don't get it the other way around.
Okay.
Else it'll just kind of be stubborn along.
Stumping.
Yes.
Driving
Oh,
with
God.
stumps. Or maybe with its mouth.
With his mouth, you think it's, but I can't really see. Not that I think it could see very well. Anyway,
I don't think seeing is the big part. I think it would just use its power to
on the freeway, just like.
forward. What
Really
car would a
good.
bear drive?
What car would a Porsche? One of those like nasty SUV Porsches. Which on a side note, like if you're gonna get a Porsche,
Get a good
get
one.
a Porsche, man.
Yeah, don't get
If you
an
want a family, if you want a
SUV.
family car, get a family car. If you want a Porsche, get a Porsche.
You get a
Get a proper Porsche. Like there's one guy, you ever see it? It's Manchester every day after school. I see him walking home. He's got this nice kind of like it's not quite my color, but it's kind of like a frosted blue, real nice Porsche that I see going down. I'm like makes an impression, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Like it's not like the best impression. Like whenever I see it, I'm like, wow, someone's got a lot of money. But at the same time, I also appreciate that. It's like, right, okay. Because he's thinking like, you know what? I mean, I got a little bit that I can spend, and I think I'm gonna get a Porsche. And he didn't get an SUV. He got a Porsche.
Yeah.
He's right.
The thing I think when I see Porsche SUVs going down the street is that person is dumb.
I just think disappointment. I just think.
While they may have a lot of money, they lack a lot of intelligence.
It just hurts me because I think it's such an easy mistake to make just because it's so accessible to the market. It's one of Porsche's like top selling cars. It's such an easy trap to fall into, like alternative Chinese medicine. You come to a point
Extremely easy.
where you're like, it's extremely easy, it's readily available, and it's like sometimes you just fall into it and it's a hard hole to get out of, like poverty. Except it's the exact
It's
opposite.
the exact opposite of poverty.
It just makes me a little bit sad, just because I think of what could have been. You could have been rolling in with one of those nice frosted blue Porsches, but no, you got this. They're all the most that I've seen. It's either just a pure white color, or it's kind of like a blackish gray.
Like a bad gray.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't say it's a bad gray, but it's like just so generic.
Yeah, it's like this is the thing you see in the lot.
It is discreet, like a little bit more like pastel than you would prefer it.
It's not showing off that you have a Porsche.
No.
Yeah.
And that's
people
really,
just-
that's
Which
just
is
not
the
what it's
social-
you
about.
want
Yeah.
people to see that you have a Porsche.
You want them to know. You want them to say, it's you, and you have a Porsche. You want to be able to go up to them, show off your big musk deer fangs. Hey, I've got a Porsche.
And I can play cricket.
I can play cricket with tigers.
With your bear
Oh,
chauffeur.
With your bear
driving ya.
chauffeur. Ooh, he's got like the fancy hat and everything.
Like Paddington.
Paddington. Except you don't have any paws. He just kind of goes with his
He's
toes.
a handless bear.
He's got two
driving
peg
you.
legs and an eye patch.
A pirate bear.
Pirate bears.
Oh my god.
Man.
Dude, they are gonna steal all your honey.
Yeah, they would not. They wouldn't drive a Porsche SUV. Now, would
No, they would drive
No.
a frosted blue.
Ooh, yes, they would.
Just a frosted blue.
Just a frosted blue. It doesn't really matter the type of car. I feel like you gotta like.
This is a polar bear or a normal bear?
No, I'm
Because
gonna-
a
I'm
polar
gonna-
bear would really fit the frosted.
That's
blue.
true.
Polar
That's
bear would
very
probably
true.
get like a reflective Porsche. Like a
true.
Porsche
I
entirely
don't know if they
covered
would
in mirrors.
fit. I didn't really realize the sheer size of polar bear until I was at a little while later. I was at a
The St. Louis Zoo.
I was not at the St. Louis Zoo,
No!
but I did. I love the St. Louis Zoo.
Oh,
I
great.
absolutely love the St. Louis Zoo.
I volunteer there actually.
My grandfather
Oh.
actually, he's retired, but he volunteers there every Monday, and you'll see him often at the stingrays and stuff because he's very into that aquatic thing to the point that it's scary. And I try not to bring up fish around him just because he knows too much.
is his aspiration to one day turn into a fish?
I don't know. I mean, he has gone on something like 5,000 different scuba diving expeditions. Like, he goes to Fiji like once every 2 years. This guy's crazy, man.
Yeah, at
this
that
guy's
point, you're
crazy.
basically a fish.
He's a cool
right?
guy.
He's a cool
I've
guy.
had the privilege to.
Hey, well, he's even got these, like, you know those, like, vintage... You ever seen the original Godzilla movie? Like, the 1954, 52?
I have not actually seen it.
So this scene, it's the very end, yeah. And they're like trying to destroy him, and they got this big like oxygen bomb, and they gotta set it off underwater. But the guy who invented it doesn't want it to be like discovered by science, because he's keeping it to himself because it's so powerful. That would be like the new, because it's like a commentary on the nuclear bomb.
It would be the new H bomb.
It would be the new H bomb. Yeah. So he like takes it underneath. He's like one of the scuba divers that like, and he's in like one of the old suits with the big helmets, and they gotta like crank the oxygen.
Oh yeah.
Well, anyway, he like puts the bomb down, sets it off, and it just like pans in on his face as he cuts like the oxygen tube, because he's like he goes down with the
with his bomb.
with his explosion that way, because he's the only one who knows how to make it.
Like,
So he
set,
destroys
like, a fuse.
he destroys well, because he doesn't want anyone to like figure it out for him. He don't want anyone to like blackmail or however. He wants to make sure that information is destroyed completely. So he like cuts the hose and like he blows up, and it's kind of sad for like some translated poorly dubbed Japanese movie from
Wow. Matthew Broderick had a
1950.
great career.
Oh man, what
I assume it was Matthew Broderick.
No, different one.
I
But,
assume he was in all of.
what
the
was that
Godzilla
one? That was
movies.
19. I kind of grew up on those old like 70 Godzilla movie. I
think
like
it's
my
from
brother.
80.
It was the Matthew Broderick one. That's 98. That
Oh,
one is
98,
98,
okay.
and that one was terrible. Don't watch that.
I've
So many of them
Yeah.
are just the worst. They're so cheesy. They're absolutely terrible. But
Yeah.
it's just so enjoyable. Just because you sit back watching, it's like, man, this is awful.
yeah.
Like kind of so bad it's good, you know.
Yeah, understandable. Sort of like the Room esque.
Sort of like The Room, but not quite to that extent. It's more like The Cheese. The Room is like
Is just like.
it's. If
It's
you
a
haven't seen The
garbage
Room,
fire.
I mean,
I actually haven't
You
seen. The
haven't
Room.
lived.
it's
I'm
a
sorry.
I've heard of it.
New
obviously.
Year's. Tommy, you were there. New Year's
like,
a few.
into like 2018.
Oh, it was a hot second ago, but like.
Did you enjoy it at least?
No, it's not something you enjoy. It's just something that happens.
Something that you were around.
Something you
Kind of like, pickled tiger cubs. You don't really enjoy it much. You don't like, but you don't.
But
you
you
hate
think
it.
about it.
You hate it in the moment, but then when you think about it, you're just like.
Kind of like
I still
NYT.
hate that.
Kind of like NYLT National Youth Leadership Training, the Boy Scout program, which you should all attend, but like you should definitely staff.
You
But
definitely
How-
staff.
you should
How
staff.
many sponsors do we
but-
have?
We kind of got like.
Too
You
many.
endorse
See,
places.
this is the thing.
You
This is
can
the
pay
thing.
me NYLT.
The sponsors don't come to us. We go to the sponsors. We rope them in. You know,
Yeah,
like with a
by-
lasso.
We make.
We rope in
content.
nonprofits and companies that have been shut down by the FBI.
Yes, we do. Well, it wasn't the FBI. It was the
The
I don't know the
TBI?
TBI,
The TBI.
Thailand Bureau of Investigation.
But
Man.
well, what is that? Oh, F is federal.
Yeah.
So it'd
So
probably
it would
still
kind of
be
be
FBI.
FBI, but it would probably be in like Taiwanese. You know what I mean?
By the other
Or
FBI.
Thailandese? Is it
No,
Taiwanese?
Taiwanese.
It's
Did you
Taiwan.
say
It is
Taiwanese?
Taiwanese.
Definitely
Well, because I was
Taiwanese.
actually second guessing myself. Because earlier I was thinking, I was
Taiwanese
like,
is
was
Taiwan.
it the Taiwanese Tire Temple? But is Thailand Taiwanese? Is that?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Thailand's
Yeah, it
Taiwanese.
is. It is. I'm just making sure I don't want to like clump anything too
Oh,
much
'cause
together. You know what I mean?
Taiwan-
Not
is
to be
its own
confused
place.
with Taiwan.
Yeah.
Wait, is it?
Taiwan
Is
is
it?
not its own place. It's China.
Sorry, Chinese
Sponsored
Taipei.
by the Chinese
Unpopular
Empire.
opinion.
Chinese
Sponsored by the
Taipei
Chinese Empire.
is an island, completely part of China. I just want to cover our bases.
Yeah,
In case anyone's listening.
So
Any
is Hong
large
Kong.
government
yeah.
entities happen to be listening to this podcast.
Just know that Hong Kong belongs completely to China and has no sense of sovereignty or individual character whatsoever.
Go communism.
Amen, amen, amen. Except if
Do you
this is
say
the
amen
American.
when you're communist?
Do you? I don't know. You
I
say
think-
like
I think it's supposed to be secular, right?
Krechma,
Yeah.
Krechka, Krechka. I don't know, something Russian.
I mean, this is Chinese. I don't know how to speak Chinese.
The best thing that I can think of that came from Russia in the last 10,000 years was musketeer.
Probably musketeer. yeah.
Musketeer.
I mean, they have pretty cool tracksuits.
They do have. They're not the worst. They're not the worst.
That's true. Also, Jack.
Oh, Jack. But he's
I don't know where
Polish,
he's from.
ain't he? I think it was Polish. We just name drop. Did we
Yeah,
just dox
sorry.
someone?
Oh
Sorry.
my God.
Don't say the name again. Don't say the name.
We should say. Should we say his address?
No.
Say his address, social security.
Yeah, I think I have the social security
Jack,
on me
sorry.
right
After our plug with China, they were able to give us some information about
Yeah.
choice individuals, which
Yeah.
we're now about to share. First of all, David Scrootsme is actually a federal agent working for the government as a mole to stop drug trade in Kirkwood High School. So beware.
Yeah, it's like the Red Scare from the 50s.
Yeah.
Like you just name a bunch of people.
Yeah, no, it's
like
like
secret
a
communists.
like half the James Bond movies are about like, the I don't know, enemy nation has the names of all of our spies, and then there's like 2 that get released, and it's just like that. It's like, well, ba is actually a ba ba da ba to boo ba da ba.
And then James Bond has to.
And
go
then
and
he's
kill
like,
them all.
he's like, ba, and then he like does the thing, and then it ends, and it's like.
Wow, I felt like I
James
watched
Bond.
it already. Everyone. I don't need to see any James Bond
You don't
movies
need to.
now.
They're actually releasing a new one, aren't they?
Yeah,
No
it's-
Time to
Yeah.
Die. I'm not sure how I feel about the commercials. Daniel Craig has been fine, but I mean, Sean Connery. I mean,
Should we get Sean Connery back before he dies?
yeah, that's true. Or like says something sexist again.
Again.
Sean Connery's the worst, but I
We
love
need
him.
to make
He's
it so that
so-
Sean Connery
he's-
only exists in James Bond movies.
Oh, and the third Indiana
Time
Jones.
warp.
The third
Oh,
Indiana
yeah,
Jones
that's true.
movie.
He
That
was
was
good in that
great.
one.
That was great. That's a great movie. I
That's
love
so
that
good.
movie.
The
Alright.
Last Crusade.
The Last Crusade.
What is okay?
Yeah, no, Raiders of the Lost Ark and Last Crusade, like those were the top. You know, the Temple of Doom was kind of
It was fun.
It
but
was
it wasn't very
fun,
good.
No,
except
it was
whenever it like
terrible.
spent like 15 minutes just showing kids get whipped by like
And it was
large
also
Indian
like
men.
it was also like pretty racist.
It was,
Like,
but
To be
like,
fair, they were
was-
all fairly
was-
racist.
I don't know. I mean,
It
the
was
third one was
racial.
against Germans.
and you know, German, you're still kind
It
of allowed
portrayed
to be
them
racist to Germans.
unfavorably in the second one in
Mhm.
Temple of Doom. So I think like, I mean, the first one was about Nazis, so that makes sense.
Yeah, first one and the third one were both about Nazis.
No, the third one was.
Third one was definitely-
Third one was
third-
Nazis, yeah.
Neo-
They're burning books in the
Dude,
third
come
one.
on,
Oh,
they
are
like
they?
have
I
like the
haven't
march. They have
seen
like
it in a
they got
while.
like swastika banners and stuff. Man, that
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
as World War
Oh
II
my
as
gosh,
you
no.
get.
The first time I saw that movie, I didn't know what Nazis were.
Uh-oh.
So I saw the swastikas. I was like, oh, that was just me. Must be what they had in the movie. So I went to school the next day, and I drew a swastika.
No.
Oh,
No.
no.
Flag.
You,
Don't do
you
that.
poor man.
And I
Don't do
showed it
that.
to my mom. I was
You
like,
mom,
Mom,
look,
I made
look.
Indiana Jones thing."
No.
She said, oh no.
Oh no, John.
That was tough.
You should have invited some fellow Indiana Jones symbol fans
Oh, no.
for a convention.
Oh my.
That was
Yeah,
tough.
that must have been tough. I actually, now this is crazy. Like, so I had this, I guess I had. It was my great uncle. I think it would have been my great uncle, I think my great uncle. And he was in World War II.
He was a Nazi.
And no, he was not a Nazi. Not a Nazi.
Ooh, thank God.
It's actually that's another thing. It's kind of tough to like see because you got that like interwar period between World War I and World War II. It's kind of hard to see like where do the Nazis or where do the Germans start being like not good, you know? Because like World War One, they weren't.
When Hitler
When
They-
yeah, it was
they
when
were- the
Hitler
war-
declared himself.
I think that's true.
Chancellor,
Well, he didn't.
right?
He was elected, or he was
elected chancellor.
elected chancellor
Declared
from.
himself president, or
No, president. The president was Paul von Hindenburg.
yes, he was.
And he
was
put
respected
him-
as a general from World War One, right?
Yeah, even before that, but yeah, he did a lot on the Eastern Front in World War One. Actually, he even became the chief of staff in 1960. But anyway, it's kind of hard to discern, like, because in World War One, I mean, the Germans were still like imperialists, but not as much,
They were,
not
like-
not more or less than any
I mean,
other
they
nation.
were first
at
to
the time,
use
really.
chemical warfare, but I don't think. You can
Well,
really blame them for that.
technically, the French used tear gas in the opening days of the war, but it didn't do anything, so they stopped.
Yeah, I mean, they just like cried and.
But then you have like you got the Armenian genocide with Turkey and stuff. So I would put it that Turkey may have been the worst in World War One. But you know
That's
that's
true.
another debate on its own. So that's another segment. But it's kind of hard to discern where they really took that dive. I think it was with the whole like poverty thing. Like, did you know like the mark became so worthless that they had like carry their money in wheelbarrows?
Yeah, wheelbarrows full of dollars.
Man.
For a loaf of bread, yeah, whatever, yeah.
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 Anyway, so this great uncle. He came back and he brought back this helmet. It was a German Nazi helmet. It was like a Stahlhelm, right? And this big old like Nazi flag that he got from like liberating like one of these bases. I think it was a town in France or something like that. Anyway, the flag got lost somewhere in the family, which is kind of sketchy to us because that segment of the family isn't exactly like the kind of people that you want to have one of those flags. Anyway, like we still got the helmet,
This is bad.
and it's like it's turned like golden. I think like the paint layer that they put on has faded. But anyway, what a trip that is. We went from Thailand to Germany.
We're not gonna
to bad Germany.
Places we went.
Man.
We're gonna. Speaking of the Last Crusade, this is gonna be our last crusade. In that we're finishing this episode now. That was terrible. I'm sorry.
This is our last crusade.
Okay, so
Speaking of jarred tiger cubs, we're gonna jar this
Yeah,
episode.
we
We're
are.
gonna put a lid
So
on this
really
here,
quick,
so.
thanks to Austin Haga for the music for today's episode.
Absolutely.
Thank you for. Thank you to Austin Haga.
yeah,
And
and
thank
of
you,
course,
Thank you to TTT for the sponsorship.
Yeah, thank you for
Oh, yeah.
TTT, the Chinese government,
Government.
and the American government.
and the
Whoever
Nazi
made James
Party.
Bond, whoever made Jurassic Park. no, not them. Thank
were
you
bad.
to everyone. Thank you to your listeners, and
And as your host, I would like to say goodnight. No one else. I'm the main host. I know I didn't talk as much, but I really deserve all the credit for this
You
episode.
deserve no
you're right. No, Ezra gets okay. You got it.
I stopped it.
I think.
No, you didn't.
I didn't. I pressed.
You press this.